you so much for joining us, Mr. Sharma. It's a pleasure to be interacting with you. I have a couple of quick questions for you, sir. The first one being Veto Switchgear. They are now into a transition phase from a regional player into a national player. If I could ask you, what are the major challenges that are coming in Veto Switchgear's way?
Yes, it's true. We are a main player in Rajasthan and Gujarat basically, and now we are transition period and we are focusing on other states. Recently, we have introduced our product in 8 states like NCR, Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Himachal, MP, Assam, and J&K. We are facing the problem of working capital cycle because in our business working capital is more important. We need a 40% working capital requirement for achieving a 100% growth. If we are focusing on 100 rupees sale, then we need a 40 rupees working capital. And of course, our brand is a first ISI brand, and Veto is first ISI brand, and older than Anchor. Yes. Brand acceptability is not a problem, but the working capital requirement is there, and we are being a SME unit, and cash liquidity is required. So once we are thinking for growing our sales, then we need to manage our working capital requirement.
So that would be one of the top challenges.
Yeah.
To maintain working capital. All right, and talking about growth again, and we've seen over a 20% on net sales year on year since the past decade. How is the last year that's just gone by with the GST coming into picture? How has that affected the gameplay?
Yeah, it's true. GST is the main factor, but actually we have started our business in 2007-8, and our first year sale was 24 crore. Now we are at 120 crore. We grow at 25% CAGR. But due to GST in June and July, our sales more affected because dealers was not taking the goods and destocking their goods first because everybody was confused about the GST. But in our case, for our company in longer term, GST is good for us because we have already paid 28% tax in our input, and GST is good. And because being an organized player, I always welcome for GST. It may be not good for unorganized player.
Right. Talking about organized and unorganized players, I am well aware of the little dependence that you have on suppliers as compared to the other players in the industry. What kind of benefit are we looking at since we're talking about growth and challenges? What kind of a positive growth factor is having less dependence on suppliers?
Yeah, we are not dependent on the supplier because our main product is raw material is copper and PVC resin and brass pad and powder. So many power suppliers are there. Presently we are procuring copper from the Sterlite, but Hindalco is there. We always have option of the suppliers, and our company is very cash rich company. We have a proper cash to procure the raw material. We are having sufficient working capital from bank. And we are not fully dependent on the supplier. We can negotiate with the supplier and procure the raw material on the competitive prices.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sharma. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.